Are you suffering from decision fatigue? Today we're going to talk about the silent performance killer that even high-level professionals don't notice until it's too late. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to use AI strategically to protect your mental energy and make faster, better decisions without burning out. So have you ever opened up your inbox, stared at it, and thought, I literally cannot make one more decision today? That is not laziness. That's not poor time management either. That, in fact, is decision fatigue. And it's draining your authority, your clarity, and your confidence more than stress itself, believe it or not. So let's talk a little bit about what is decision fatigue. So according to Harvard Business Research, the average person makes about 35,000 decisions per day. Yeah, 35,000. 300 of those are just about food alone. Sometimes I think that there's more than that, right? Now, you're adding emails, meetings, tone choices, political landmines at work, leadership moments, emotional regulation. The list can go on and on, right? No wonder your clarity drops by noon. In a famous study published by the National Academy of Sciences, judges were significantly more likely to deny parole later in the day, believe it or not because anything in the case changed, but because fatigue lowered their cognitive generosity. So when your energy drops, your decisions default to safe, small, or reactive. I think about what my end of the day looks like, and it sounds familiar. Not that I'm a judge or I have any people that are, coming in front of me, their lives on the line, but I know my cognition in the afternoon starts to wane, right? How does decision fatigue show up? So here's a few ways that decision fatigue sneaks into your leadership presence. It's a sneaky little thing. So behavior like avoidance. How it looks in real life is maybe, let's revisit this later, or my brain is done. You're thinking in your mind, right? A behavior like overthinking. So 25 minutes you're taking maybe editing 2 sentences in an email, or you're overthinking your tone, or are you coming off the right way? And sometimes emails, even though we have to get them done, if it's something that's a hot topic, sometimes it's just better to do that 24-hour rule and sleep on it, right? Because we get a little hot-headed and sometimes things go out in the email that we would not want to say if we were of sound mind, right? Another behavior is defaulting to others. So when you get in that attitude of whatever you think is best, even though you have an opinion, you're just too exhausted to get into it, right? Or maybe you're irritated or snappy and you just feel it. Like you know it. You know you're snapping at people and you don't mean to do that, but you just feel it. That harmless Slack message or Teams message comes in and suddenly it feels like a personal attack, right? And it feels like it's targeted right at you instead of a comment that might have anything to do with anything, Does that sound familiar? That is not a confidence issue. These type of behaviors show that there's cognitive depletion issues in your life. So it is what it is, right? But our behavior is affected by how much stress, how much we have on our plate. So sometimes we need to really look at that. And unfortunately, there is a hidden cost to all of that stress. The CPP Global Human Capital Report found that $359 billion is lost annually due to poor decision-making and conflict at work. So it's another thing that we have to worry about, right? Decision fatigue, stress, all the other things that are coming at us, right? Not because professionals aren't smart, but because we're just exhausted before the real decisions even begin, right? So when everything's flying at us and we're spinning so many plates, sometimes it's not that we're not smart enough. It's just decision fatigue has entered the room. So now enter AI, not as a shortcut, but as a strategic energy shield. On point with AI, it's not here to replace your thinking. It's here to save your thinking energy. So that is the real point of it, is you need to use it like a tool, not that the sky is falling, it's taking over your job or your role, but use it to your advantage, especially in these situations, right? Let me be clear, the goal is not to let AI decide for you. The goal is to let AI clear those cognitive friction areas so that you can think clearly when it actually matters. So here's how high performance professionals using AI can do things a little differently. So if you have that fatigue trigger of staring at a blank email draft, then maybe use AI to let's generate 3 professional tone options for this message. Assertive, but respectful. See what the output is. You might be really pleasantly surprised that it matches your tone and really what you want to say. Another trigger could be dreading a client response. So a strategy could be asking AI, give me 3 diplomatic phrases to set boundaries while maintaining credibility. And once you get those diplomatic phrases back, then refine them. It's not always great the first time, and sometimes you can play around with that and sound even better than you would have if you were on your game, right? Another trigger could be overlooked with tasks, or overloaded rather. So, our task list, sometimes we just need to make it go away and not make a task list because we are not setting ourselves up for success, right? But you can use AI to, here's my task list. Sort these tasks by impact versus urgency and tell me what to do first with some justification. So this is where you can use AI to your advantage, right? We all have task lists that are so long, right? Longer than, Santa has his Christmas list. But if we put it into AI and put some context behind what we're working on, it can help us sort things out and really make an impact to our day and help us sort out even for the week. So if we have 10 things that need to get done for the week, how can I sort these out per day? So by Friday afternoon, I'm feeling really good and confident that I accomplished a lot. And another one is preparing for a tense meeting. So you could throw in ChatGPT, help me clarify the outcome I actually want and give me bullet points so I can speak to that. Helps you be more clear, concise, less emotional, sticking to the facts. So it's almost like our BFF that we can go to and say, hey, this is what I'm hoping to accomplish. This is the facts that I have. How can I present myself in the best way possible? What verbiage can I use? What phrases can I use? What is important for me to focus on? And bam, it makes you more strategic. It makes you look like you're on your game, even when you're not, and gives you confidence walking in the room because you know exactly what you're going to do and why. So that's not outsourcing your decisions. That's protecting your decision energy pool so that your brain is fresh when it's time to lead. It also gives you a fresh and different perspective on ideas and how to approach different situations because we're all as good as the environment we're in, the people we're around, right? But sometimes, and you see this when you hire somebody new or someone comes from the outside and is not an internal candidate or hire, they bring different ideas, right? And sometimes you think, wow, like I didn't think of things that way. So use AI like that too. So let's look at AI as performance reframing and using AI as your tactical thinking partner. So if you think of it like this, you could spend your energy formatting words, structuring your thoughts, and trying to sound diplomatic, or you can let AI generate structure. So not only your job is to make an actual decision with clarity and authority, but you're not worrying about all of the little small details, and you can get more concise. I know for Those of us that are good leaders, are good writers, are good speakers, sometimes we still need to tighten it up a little bit, right? And so smart leaders, they don't save time, but they save cognitive energy. So here's a 3-minute clarity ritual to try before any big decision. Before you react to an email or jump into a high-stakes meeting, let's look at an example at an on-screen prompt to help. Open your AI tool and type, "Act as my clarity coach. Help me to define my actual goal in this situation. List my options with pros and cons, and give me phrases that I can use that can keep me calm and credible." And watch how fast your brain locks into leadership mode when you're not fighting through all of this brain fog, right? So if this resonated and you're ready to use AI as a performance strategy instead of just a tech toy, I built something for you. So head to jrsrmanagement.com. I'll put my website in the link in the description below, and download the AI Clarity Prompt Pack, specifically designed for professionals who make high stakes decisions and want to do it faster, cleaner, and without burning that mental energy. It's waiting for you, because clarity isn't luck, it is strategy. So I hope you got something out of this and you enjoyed this information. If you do, please let me know in the comments. Please share, please subscribe. Drop a yes in the comments if you felt decision fatigue recently, and make sure that you're subscribed, because next time I'm breaking down how to speak with authority even when your brain wants to shut down. So we'll see you next time.